All right. Good morning, everybody. Working on it right now. Should have a special guest calling in to talk about the Russian earthquake situation. Uh, because this is something that wasn't really on my radar, and I got a good buddy that's been going pretty. He's been blowing sounding the alarm to me for a couple of weeks now. Um, there's and I'm not as smart on it as I'd like to be, but I think it's worth looking at. Uh, there were the earthquakes just happened, the massive earthquakes in Russia, and guys, there have been basically an average of 10 earthquakes a day for the last month, all 5.0 and up around around the coast of Russia, around the Ring of Fire. So there, yesterday we briefly touched on it first thing in the morning that Brown, don't chat there. Call the damn number. uh, but massive Russian earthquake struck on megathrust fault. This is according to Reuters from this morning. Pacific plate moving 80 millimeters a year, scientist says. Shallow depth of quake caused tsunami warnings. Bigger aftershocks cannot be ruled out. The 8.8 magnitude quake off Russia that triggered tsunami warnings across the Pacific occurred on what is known as the megathrust fault, where the denser Pacific plate is. Hey, there we go. All right, caller. Can you hear me? All right, you are not coming through the correct connector. Let's try that again. All right. Patrick, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, man. Can you all hear me?
Indeed, but I'm going to turn you up a bit. I believe it's this one. Say something else.
Something else.
Oh, that's much better. Okay. So I've got several articles pulled up on it. Bear with me a minute while I peruse this other one real quick. We've got says we dodged a bullet. State Senate Pro Tem Mike McGuire, D. Heldsberg, said at a press briefing. He urged people to remain cautious along the coast, even though the greatest threat has passed. But Russia's remote Far East Kamchatka Peninsula sustained significant damage from what appears to be one of the 10 largest earthquakes ever recorded, including the collapse of a kindergarten building. One hospital patient leapt from a window during the shaking, according to the Associated Press. Yesterday, guys, I showed you the video clip of a team of surgeons working on a patient, right, chest open, and the earthquake hit. I ain't gonna lie, that's not something that I ever even considered being a likelihood. You might think, hey, maybe if you're gonna get government involved in doing stupid shit, how's about we say let's not perform open heart surgery in places that have earthquakes, right? Georgia, for example, we've had what, Patrick, one earthquake in Georgia in the past 50 years. Patrick, you with me? I'm here. Are you there? What the hell? You are not. That's weird. It disconnected over there. So here, there you are. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. It disconnected from the mixer. Should have you back now.
Hi there.
Could you hear what I was saying about the
about earthquakes in Georgia?
Yeah,
we've actually had several small earthquakes over the past couple of years, but there's never been anything stronger than like about a 2.0 in this state. We're not in one of those areas of the world where we're going to get a lot of earthquake activity. The Kamchatka earthquakes that have been happening, it's like that area of the world has been shaking almost nonstop this month. When you and I spoke yesterday morning, from the time that 8.8 earthquake occurred, which that earthquake is now tied officially as the sixth strongest earthquake ever recorded.
Right.
From the time that earthquake occurred to when you and I were talking roughly about 9 o'clock yesterday morning, there had been 82 aftershocks.
Now, these aftershocks, these have all been above 4.0, right? So,
yeah, roughly around in that area, 4.0 and stronger. And I've never seen earthquake activity recorded like that before. There was a period yesterday, I went and looked at the USGS website where they list all the recent earthquake activity around the world. Yesterday, in a 41-minute span of time, they had 7 earthquakes that were 4.0 or stronger.
Yeah. And I'm sharing the website that you're talking about for the audience right now. And actually, here's a screenshot that you sent that encapsulates that period of time, right? From the USGS. And yeah, you see the time markers there. You've got 10:29, so 10:30 to 11:11.
Yeah.
And these are all okay. You got one at 3.4, but these are all 4.6 and higher. That's and these are the aftershocks we're talking about.
Correct.
So an aftershock is still an earthquake. So
very
we're
much
talking
so.
about the aftershocks here are bigger than anything we've ever seen here in the state of Georgia.
Oh, by far.
So you've been bringing this up to me for several weeks now. Over 300 of these earthquakes around the Ring of Fire in the last 30 days, right?
Correct. Yeah, and it's a lot of them have been around in that area of Russia. There's been some. There's been a couple in Alaska. There's been 1 or 2 off the coast of California. Hell, there was even a few earthquakes this week in Texas, of all places. But
which is only nominally in the Ring of Fire.
yeah, only on the outskirts. But the thing that concerns me with so much earthquake activity is there's a real big subduction zone fault line right off the coast of Oregon and Washington. And they have theorized for probably 20 years that area is overdue for a major earthquake event. And
well, yeah, you've got Mount St. Helens over there.
You got Mount St. Helens, you've got Mount Rainier. You have very major U.S. cities like Seattle and Portland that are in all the way, and that fault zone stretches all the way up to Vancouver. And all
right.
of these major cities are within that area. Like the subduction zone, I think, is less than 20 miles off of the coast. And if that thing were to let go and have a major rupture, you would see something on the order of like what you saw in Japan in 2011. And the tsunami that would be generated by that earthquake would inundate the coastline within 20 to 30 minutes.
See, and that's crazy. So that's, and basically there's no real warning.
There's certainly nothing you can do to get out of the way.
Right. That's, I mean, what do you do? Well, you move, right? We've been saying on the show over and over again, move the hell away from the cities. That may be doubly true if you live in an earthquake prone city. You live in a place that's garbage, and it might just murder. Like the place itself might murder you too, y'all. I want to offer advice and tell people how to live a better life, but frankly, part of me doesn't want to tell people what to do, how to live the better life, because I don't want you here. Right? You still with me?
Yeah, I'm there. But I actually do have to run. I just had a quick minute to call in, but
No,
appreciate you having me on.
Appreciate you coming on, brother.
All right, we'll see you.
So, take care. Oh, all right. Love to have somebody call in from time to time, and frankly, slow news week, but this is interesting and kind of weird and alarming. So I thought we'd talk about it a little bit this morning because, frankly, I don't want to spend any more time talking about Sydney Sweeney, except for the fact that she's not the last word in wokeness being shoved out. Let me grab this comment real quick. Alex says our replay got rated by redacted yesterday. We're going to do that more often. They said, Alex, can you give me some clarification on what you mean by that? Actually, brother, can you call in? I mean, just call me, and I can put you on the air. I'd love to ask you some questions and talk about that. Pitt Danny says, call someplace paradise and kiss it goodbye. Yeah, the utopian paradise mythos is kind of the driving underlying factor when you start talking about communism at all. And so, it's a very attractive utopian wet dream that draws people in. Pitt Danny says, you did a raid, Chris. I did do a raid, but Alex says that his replay, right? That's what's got me confused, and I want to know more about. He says our replay got raided by redacted yesterday. We're going to do that more often, they said. I was under the impression that in order to do a raid, the raids were only for current live streams. So you have to be live to do a raid. So yeah, unless you just misspoke there, Alex, I'd like to know what you mean by them doing the raid on the replay. Alex said my phone goes to voicemail. Oh, I see what happened. My phone is on do not disturb because I'm live. I don't want the phone to ring, disturb the show. But here, I'll just call you back, brother. Hey, Alex, you're on the air. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Fan-frickin-tastic. We need to get you on the show. We need to do some more collaboration things. But I know we both get busy. Plus, it's kind of the off season for politics, which is our bailiwick. But
and we go live when you're asleep.
Yeah, you do. And yeah, I'm very rarely awake past about 9, 10 maybe.
Yeah.
But,
look, yeah. I heard what you said about it's supposed to be a live stream. I actually didn't know that, and I'm guessing the guys at Redacted didn't, because their producer David Foster hit me up yesterday. He said, what time do you go live? I said 9 p.m. He said, and I still use Restream. He said, you use Restream? I said, yeah. He said, we'll set up a replay and have it go live at 5 p.m. and then we'll raid you right after we're finished. And they finished up at 5:15 and then sent their audience over to the replay that we'd set up. We had like 3,000 live viewers.
No shit.
It was kind of
okay.
Cool.
So basically, it's kind of like doing. It's kind of like when you do the premiere. It's you're not actually live.
Yes.
But you're publishing under the live rules.
Well, that's the thing. I need to check into that because it's effectively like a premiere. It's going under the, it's set up the same way a live stream is. But now that you've said that raids are only supposed to be for live videos, I do need to check into it and make sure that we're not violating any rules by doing what we're doing.
Yeah, I don't know that there's any rule against it. I was just under the impression that the technology wouldn't allow it.
Yeah, they said they want to raid us once a week. So, because they have other channels, obviously, that they send their raids to as well. But
Yeah.
David and those guys wanted to be able to raid us. But yeah, I need to check into that.
Shit, I'd cut a fool to have a show like Redacted raid the BFM.
Yeah, now listen.
I mean, not do it for shits and grins, but definitely for the right payout.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't know that there's a whole lot of audience crossover between us and Redacted. You know, because I mean, we're conservative. Redacted are well, they're not really anything. You know, I know Clayton is a conservative man, obviously, but
Right.
on their show, they don't really pick a side, so to speak. Whereas, you know, we are purely conservative. But yeah, it was fun. It was just fun to watch, you know, and the comments, dude. I'll tell you what, it was brutal. Some of those guys are absolutely brutal. You go live on X, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've noticed this, but on X, people have a lot to say on X until it comes to a live stream, and then you don't get any comments.
Well, and so the other thing on X, if you go watch my live stream on X right now, you can't live comment unless you are a verified.
Oh, you know what? I meant to talk to you
about that. I don't know how
that.
to change that.
It's in the live stream. I meant to talk to you about that. It's in the live stream while it's live. I think there's a setting you can click on and change that to where the public can comment.
Repost, hide avatar, show timestamps, hide mod actions. I'm looking at it right now, and I don't see.
The next time I'm live, which is tonight, actually, I will jump onto X and find that setting. And I found it. I was on my. I found it on the iPhone. I don't know if the interface is different on the PC, on the computer. But I opened it up on the iPhone to look, because we were actually discussing you. We were discussing what you had said about only what are the X-verified members being able to comment. And I said, you know, I need to look, because we rarely get people commenting from there. So I said, I need to check into that. And then I found the setting. But like I said, I did it from my iPhone.
Yeah, and X is. I don't worry too much about my traffic on X. I've got like 2,300 some followers over there, but we rarely get more than a handful of views. Like right now, let's see. Right now, I'm showing. Yes, there's one viewer watching on X. I see you.
Yeah.
But you X viewer, you should go over to Rumble right now.
Right. X has been hit or miss for us. Sometimes we have 50 plus, sometimes we have 1. I think, I don't know. I can't figure out the X algorithm, you know?
Same here. Well, apparently the X algorithm is titties and jeans.
Yes. Yeah.
And I mean, I'm a boob man, but I don't own a pair of blue jeans.
You don't own any blue jeans, Chris?
None.
Just jorts?
No, God, no.
Yeah.
Slacks and khakis, and I've got a few pair of like heavy duty canvas work pants for the yard. But no, I don't wear blue jeans. I think the last time I owned a pair of blue jeans was I think my cousin Melanie got me a pair of jeans for Christmas 25 years ago. That pair may be still floating around the house in a bag somewhere, but nope.
Wow. I mean, if I'm being honest, I haven't worn a pair of jeans in a number. I do like to throw on a pair every now and then, every half decade or so.
Yeah.
That's about it. Yeah. All right. Anyway, listen, I gotta head off to work. So jump off. But thanks,
wait,
man.
Alex,
Yeah.
Alex, before you run away with that fantastic accent, I got to pop up this comment. Sergeant Major says we should start wearing kilts to work. I ain't gonna lie.
You know what?
I have on occasion toyed with the idea of replacing all of my pants with utility kilts.
So I have a kilt, right? My family name is Campbell MacDonald. It's one of those Ponzi hyphenated British names, Campbell MacDonald, and it comes from the Civil War in Scotland. It comes from the unification of the families after the Civil War, the Campbells and the MacDonalds. Anyway, I have a kilt in my family tartan, and I'm afraid to say I've outgrown it. It's beautiful, handmade in Edinburgh, and I've outgrown the damn thing. Couldn't wear it today even if I wanted to.
Yeah,
I've got one.
I've got one that I wear every year to the Highland Games in my clan tartan, Clan McLaren, and it's some ridiculous 18 yards of fabric to get around my big ass.
Right? Yeah, it's
for those of you watching who don't know, kilts are expensive.
Yes, they are.
A legit kilt is expensive.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, brother. I understand you got to get back to work. I appreciate you calling in and eating up some airtime with me.
Yeah, man. All right.
I'll try to keep my big ass up tonight and tune in, especially if you're going to try to fix a problem that I have.
True, brother. See you there.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, guys. Let's see. This is the last day of the month. We have hit our necessary numbers, and tomorrow is Firearms Friday. So I'm going to go ahead and put a pin in it today and see if I can't get a little work done around here before I go shoot some houses. Y'all know my job. I've got my little side hustle I do. It's kind of like my old Army gig. Basically, in the morning, I have they give me a name and an address, and it's some people I've never met, and I go over there and I shoot them. I have cameras now, right? But after I got out of the Army, I missed shooting people so much. I went and bought a bunch of cameras, and kind of keeps me in good spirits, right? It's good for morale. So y'all be safe out there, guys. Thanks for watching this morning. We love you, and we will see you tomorrow.